Number 2, reading aloud your daily text.
说到做到去登山。一位英文老师去拜访他之前的2位学生，且答应要带他们去苏格兰登山。1年后，他带这2位学生在格拉斯哥外登山，尽管要走很长一段路且天气不好，但他们还是成功了。他很开心跟他之前的学生们保持联络，如今他们正在读大学且准备开始他们的职涯。
Hi everybody, and welcome back to the second part of our class. It's reading time, not silent reading, reading aloud. So you can practice not only your reading, but your speaking and pronunciation skills all at once. Now I will read this aloud first, and you can listen to the proper pronunciation. Then it will be your turn to read this article aloud. Now here we go. Keeping my word and climbing a mountain. Since the summer in our busiest time, Since the summer is our busiest time of year, English teachers usually take holiday in the spring, and I've had a couple of week-long breaks recently. A few weeks ago, I went up to Glasgow, and as well as spending time with some family friends, I also met up with 2 former students. Afnan and Alaa are 2 girls from Saudi Arabia who were in a pre-advanced skills class that I was teaching about a year ago. I was telling the class how one of my hobbies is mountain walking in Scotland, and they said, "Okay, Gabriel, we're going to do our master's degrees in Scotland next year, so you have to come and visit us and take us up a Scottish mountain." Well, I took them at their word. It was nearly a year later, but I did go and visit them, and we went on a day trip to Arran, a small island just west of Glasgow, and climbed the biggest mountain on the island called Goat Fell. It was quite a windy day, and there were patches of snow on the mountain, and halfway up the mist came down and it started to drizzle. But I was impressed that these girls who'd never done mountain walking before made it up and down again with no twisted ankles and still with smiles on their faces. It was a real sense of achievement as we walked back to the ferry to keep looking back over our shoulders at the great peak of dark gray rock and think, I was on top of that a couple of hours ago. It was also really great to hear how their studies are going. Afnan is doing a master's in medical genetics at Glasgow University, and Alaa is doing the same course but at Glasgow Caledonian University. They had just finished exams when we met up and were looking forward to the Easter break. They will finish their courses in September, and then Afnan is wondering about moving on to a PhD, while Alaa isn't sure what she'll do. Maybe go back to Saudi and find a job. For me, it was very rewarding because so many of my students talk about their plans to do a master's in the UK, and then they leave the language school, and I lose touch with them. So it was wonderful to see some of those plans becoming reality, particularly because they were so clearly enjoying their courses, being successful in them, and enjoying experiencing life in a new part of the UK. Now that's it for our reading. It's time for you to do your reading. It's a fairly long article, so if you don't have time, at least get through the first 2 or 3 paragraphs. Now let's go on to the next part of our class.